The office went silent the moment Daniel stepped out of the interview room. He'd spent weeks preparing, perfecting his resume, rehearsing every answer, and even buying a new suit from a thrift shop. It was his dream job at a major tech company in Vancouver, one that could finally help him support his mom after years of financial struggle. But as he walked past the glass door, he heard the words that shattered him. "We can't hire someone like that," whispered the HR manager to the senior recruiter. "Yeah," another voice replied with a cold chuckle. "Not with that background." Daniel froze. Someone like that? He'd graduated top of his class in computer science, had glowing recommendations, and a spotless record. What could they possibly mean? He turned around, pretending to have forgotten his folder, and caught a glimpse of the HR manager, Sandra, typing something on her computer, his application file open. His name glowed on the screen, Daniel Greyfeather. That's when it hit him, his last name. They had assumed he was Indigenous. He left the office with his heart sinking. Not because he didn't get the job, but because he knew why. And that was the moment Daniel decided to dig deeper. Mantelpiece clock 2 weeks earlier. Daniel had always believed that hard work could overcome anything. He grew up in a small Indigenous community in northern British Columbia, raised by his mother after his father passed away in a logging accident. When the tech company, Northedge Solutions, announced they were hiring for junior developers, Daniel saw hope. He applied, determined to prove himself in a world that often looked down on people like him. He sailed through the initial tests, technical, logical, even the video screening. His performance ranked among the top candidates. The recruiter even told him, "You've got great potential, Daniel. You'll hear from us soon." But after that in-person interview, everything changed. The smiles disappeared. The tone shifted. And 3 days later, he received the generic rejection email. "We regret to inform you that you were not selected for the position. We wish you all the best." He might have moved on, if not for one thing. A friend who also applied told him that the new hire, the one who got the job, was a guy Daniel had helped during the coding test, a guy who'd barely known what a compiler was. Something didn't add up. That night, Daniel opened his laptop and began researching. He found LinkedIn posts, company updates, even staff bios. But what caught his attention was a photo from Northedge's annual diversity gala, a smiling Sandra, the HR manager, with a caption that read, "Proud to promote equality and inclusion in tech across Canada." The hypocrisy burned inside him. But then, Daniel noticed something strange in the background of that photo, a man he recognized. It was Ryan, the same person who'd gotten the job Daniel was denied. And in that photo, Ryan was standing next to Sandra, with his arm around her shoulder. His pulse quickened. Was this just coincidence? Or something darker? He didn't know yet, but Daniel was about to uncover a secret that would shake the company, and expose a truth that went far beyond one unfair rejection. Daniel couldn't sleep. The image of Ryan's arm around Sandra replayed in his mind over and over again. Something about that photo screamed corruption. The next morning, Daniel made a bold decision, one that could cost him everything or change everything. He contacted a friend, Leah, a journalist for a small but reputable online news outlet in British Columbia. Leah had covered stories about corporate discrimination before. When Daniel told her what happened, and sent her the screenshot of the photo, she immediately said, "Daniel, I think there's more to this than bias. Let me dig around." For days, Leah investigated. She spoke with former employees, checked HR reports, and used LinkedIn data scraping tools. What she uncovered shocked them both. Sandra had been manipulating the hiring process for months, hand-picking friends and family of her social circle while rejecting qualified candidates. And it got worse. In one leaked email thread, Sandra told a recruiter, "Let's keep the optics clean. Avoid applicants with Indigenous-sounding names or accents. We can't afford community drama right now. Daniel felt a wave of disgust. He wasn't just denied because of his heritage, he was profiled, like he was a problem before they even met him. Leah decided to publish the findings in a detailed exposé titled, "Hidden Discrimination in Canadian Tech, How Northedge Solutions Failed Diversity." Within hours of the article going live, it spread like wildfire. Major Canadian news outlets picked it up. Twitter, Reddit, and TikTok exploded with outrage. Hashtags like #JusticeForDaniel and #EndWorkplaceBias trended across Canada. The backlash hit Northedge Solutions hard. The CEO issued a public statement promising an internal review. But it was too late. Screenshots of the leaked emails were already circulating everywhere. Sandra was suspended pending investigation, and Ryan, the man who got Daniel's job, quietly resigned. And just when Daniel thought it was over, his phone buzzed. It was an unknown number. "Hi Daniel, this is Mr. Chen, Director of HR from Silverbyte Technologies. We saw what happened and we'd like to offer you a position on our development team. We believe in giving talent a fair chance." Daniel was speechless. His story, one of rejection, prejudice, and perseverance, had not only exposed a toxic system but had also opened new doors he never expected. 2 months later, he joined Silverbyte. On his first day, as he walked into the modern office building, a colleague smiled at him and said, "Hey, you're the guy who stood up for what's right, right? You inspired a lot of us." For the first time in years, Daniel felt seen, not as an Indigenous man fighting against a biased world, but as a developer, as a professional, and most importantly, as someone who made a difference. He took a deep breath, looked out at the Vancouver skyline, and whispered, "They tried to silence me. But the truth always speaks louder." And in that moment, Daniel realized something powerful. Sometimes, justice doesn't come from revenge. It comes from exposure.